A new poll shows Americans are anticipating growing political violence in the near future. 2 in 5 Americans think a civil war, at least, is somewhat likely to break out within the next decade. That's according to a survey from The Economist. 1 in 5 self-described strong Republicans think it's very likely. The polling comes after South Carolina Republican Senator Lindsey Graham said there would be, quote, riots in the streets if former President Trump is prosecuted. So for more on this, let's bring in CBS News congressional correspondent Scott MacFarlane. He joins us from here in Washington. Scott, good to see you. Thanks for being here. So federal workers are seeing threats in the wake of the FBI's search of Mar-a-Lago and January 6th. I know that you spoke with the president of a key union representing those employees. What did he tell you?
Yeah, it's a tough topic, but it's an immediately important one. The federal union representing about 750,000 federal workers says his union is hearing increasing concern with increasing frequency from members, rank-and-file civil servants, that they fear or are being harassed, menaced, or targeted because of their association with the federal government. He says it's increasingly true with National Archives workers. That's coming 3 weeks after the search at Mar-a-Lago for National Archives records. Let's listen to Everett Kelly, president of the American Federation of Government Employees, who, among other things, represents workers at the National Archives.
Then because of the very idea that you work for one of those entities, then you come under attack. You know, I've never seen it like this before. And again, I think that it's time for it to stop. I think that we must make sure that it stops. I think that the agencies specifically have to do some things and put some things in place to make sure that employees are not threatened the way that they are.
The union is asking federal agencies to redouble their security measures for workers, but also to notify employees if those employees have been subject to threats. Says he's concerned that's not being done by all agencies across the government all the time. This is a growing concern inside not just the federal government, but also the federal judiciary, Caitlin. There are federal judges here in Washington, the ones handling the January 6 cases, who say they too have been subject to vile, vulgar threats increasing in frequency and increasing in ferocity.
Scott, this is such a disturbing trend, and it's important to note, as you just did, that these are rank-and-file employees, and we've seen these threats against election workers, against IRS workers, now government workers at the National Archives. A disturbing trend, but something worth highlighting, and we're glad that you did. I want to switch gears a little bit to talk about the Capitol riot trial, because there's just weeks until another trial. What can you tell us about this case against members of the far-right militia group, the Oath Keepers, who were charged in the Capitol riot?
And the trial now set to begin in late September, Caitlin. There was a hearing late Tuesday in the matter. The judge was going through some motions and firmed it up. The accused Oath Keeper seditious conspiracy group goes on trial in a few weeks. It's the top-line trial for any number of reasons, not the least of which is this Oath Keepers group is accused of plotting and planning ahead of the attack January 6th, that they were raising money by the thousands of dollars to help raise arms, a so-called quick reaction force, a set of firearms staged outside the city limits, just in case the president were to invoke the Insurrection Act, according to prosecutors. This group is facing the top line charges, also the longest possible prison sentences. But what's more, this January 6th Oath Keepers group, which includes Stuart Rhodes, the man whose image you saw earlier, the founder of the Oath Keepers, has been a component of the January 6th Select Committee's investigation as well. It's where those two worlds collide, the Justice Department investigation and the January 6th investigation. All eyes on this trial. It should be a blockbuster, and it's now a go. They tried to get it delayed. They tried to get it moved from the defense lawyers. Neither worked. It'll happen next month here in D.C.
Yeah, that's a name we've been hearing over and over and over again. Scott, I know you've also been reporting about a key January 6th hearing on Thursday. Can you tell us a little bit more about this, and why is it so impactful?
This is one I've had circled on my calendar for quite a while. The defendant's name is Thomas Webster. He's a former New York City police officer who actually served on former Mayor Bloomberg's then mayoral security detail. Webster was accused and charged at trial and convicted at trial of assaulting police on the front lines January 6th, of being what the prosecutors call the spearhead of the breach. On Thursday, the Department of Justice is going to seek a 17-year prison sentence for Thomas Webster, citing any number of aggravating factors. Here's the thing. The longest sentence so far, Caitlin, has been about 8.5 years for any January 6th defendant. This would, in essence, double it and raise the stakes and move the goalposts for many more defendants still to come.
All right, Scott MacFarlane, thank you so much for your reporting and your time. It's amazing to think over a year and a half since those riots, we're still seeing these cases prosecuted. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.